Hello, my name is Angie Tamar, and the book that I'm presenting is Good Friends Get Mad Sometimes. This book is a short children's story that talks a little bit about Sofia and Maria and how they explore their friendship, emotions, and resolving conflicts in a way that can help the understanding in young learners, and how these can be easily related to them. It shows that disagreement problems are not a normal part of friendship, but it also teaches us how it can be resolved with empathy, communication, and forgiveness. This lesson sequence is based for a second grade student, developing reading comprehension, vocabulary, social and emotional learning through practice. On Monday, we have that we introduce the topic of friendship and conflict just in pictures. It doesn't go directly to the story, but we start getting to know some of the vocabulary to understand better what's going to happen in the book. We use pictures, we present the vocabulary, we present the definitions and some examples. The discussion that we have there, have you ever felt mad at a friend? It helps us for the student to get to speak, to get to listen their classmates, and that's how we involve that skill there. The next, on Tuesday, we have listening compensation. Me or the teacher reads the story out loud, so the student has to pause, listen, pay attention for next to answer the comprehension questions of what problem happened in the story, how did the friends feel, or any other question that the teacher feels appropriate to ask. On Wednesday, we have reading for understanding. The students follow the story in their books. They maybe highlight or discuss or ask something, made a sentence about which one was the conflict or how they get to a solution. And they also have a partner reading of short sections in which they have to listen to their classmates. They can talk with them, but they are also reading and following up the story. On Thursdays, we have writing and problem solutions. The activity is for students to write 3 or 4 sentences suggesting solutions to the conflict in the story. So they also, as they get to write, they also get to think. They have that personal thinking of what can I do in that situation? What's the appropriate behavior in this situation? And then they write some short sentences about the conflict and the solution. They also use sentences that if my friend is mad, I will to get to know their personalities, but also for them to see how they think they will act in a situation or which one is the appropriate way to do it. And on Friday, we have speaking and discussion is a little bit more free. They get in pair and discuss what they resolve their solutions, or maybe they disagreement in they put themselves in the situation. And we also get to encourage vocabulary as forgiveness and respect, which is very important to emphasize in kids these days. Now, how are we integrating the 4 skills, listening, speaking, reading, and writing, in our lesson plan? The first one, listening. When students listen to the story out loud, when they have peer discussions, they have to concentrate and focus on that moment in listening. Listen at the teacher, listen the story, listen to their classmates. Then we have speaking. When they have their guided discussions, when they also in the shares, first you have to listen, then it's your turn to speak, or the other way around when they have to respond to some questions or when they get the moment to express their ideas. They are working on the speaking skill. Then reading. Well, it's a book story, so students can be engaged in share the reading, in identifying sentences or identifying vocabulary words. That's why on Monday we get to introduce those vocabularies to see like the context in general about the story. So when we can start it, they can feel more innate in identifying and building comprehension while they're reading. And the last one is writing. Students practice structured writing by suggesting solutions through easy writing sentence and reinforcing language skills and critical thinking. By combining these skills, we are trying to ensure students not only understand the story, but also connect with their own experiences, thinking what can they do in those situations. And while practicing English, we are making this we're trying to make this in a very meaningful way. Thank you very much.